By the time the task force realized how deep the rot went, it was already closing in on itself. Evelyn Hale had vanished without a trace, but she hadn't disappeared quietly. Border records flagged her passport at a private terminal in Vancouver less than 4 hours after she was reported missing. From there, nothing. No flight manifests, no hotel records. It was as if she'd stepped off the grid with professional precision. Too professional. Detective Mara Ellison barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the canal footage again. Lucas alive, panicked, arguing with a man he trusted. A man who'd vanished before he could answer for it. Aaron Pike wasn't just a dirty cop. He was the hinge the entire case swung on. Ellison finally found the mistake Pike made at 3:12 a.m. Staring at financial logs pulled from Lucas's hidden room. One transaction stood out. Small, almost invisible. A storage facility in Northern Oregon. Monthly payments. Still active. If Pike was alive, he'd need access to the one thing Lucas had always controlled: insurance. The drive took 6 hours. No sirens. No backup. Ellison didn't trust anyone else to keep quiet. The storage facility sat alone over a 2-lane highway, surrounded by forest so thick it swallowed sound. Unit 314 was unlocked. Inside, she found evidence of a man unraveling. Cash stuffed into bags, multiple burner phones, fake IDs, and a laptop still warm. Ellison raised her weapon just as a voice spoke from behind her. You shouldn't have come alone. Aaron Pike stepped out from the shadows, thinner, unshaven, eyes rimmed red with exhaustion. The gun in his hand trembled not from fear, but from certainty. You killed him, Ellison said. You killed Lucas Hale. Pike laughed softly. No, Lucas killed himself the moment he thought he could control everyone. Pike lowered himself onto a crate, gun still raised. He talked fast, like a man who knew time was almost up. Lucas Hale hadn't just been laundering money. He'd been feeding information to multiple sides: criminal investors, politicians, law enforcement contacts, playing them against each other. Pike had been hired years earlier to clean up the fallout, to bury evidence, to intimidate people who asked too many questions. And Evelyn? Ellison asked. Pike hesitated. She was smarter than Lucas, he said finally. She knew he wouldn't survive the game he was playing. She told me if he died, everything would collapse unless someone controlled the narrative. Ellison felt it click into place. Lucas hadn't planned to disappear. Evelyn had. The night Lucas died, Pike met him by the canal to retrieve the flash drives, Lucas's so-called insurance. Lucas panicked when he realized Evelyn had already copied everything. He threatened to go public, threatened to burn everyone. He wouldn't calm down, Pike said. He slipped, hit his head. I tried to save him. Ellison didn't respond. The bruise on Lucas's throat told a different story. Before she could move, sirens wailed in the distance. Pike looked past her, eyes widening. She told me you'd come, he whispered. She said you'd never let it go. Gunfire shattered the silence. Pike went down before Ellison could turn. A single shot through the chest. Clean, precise. By the time backup arrived, the shooter was gone. The official report called it an unknown assailant. No witnesses, no leads, just another loose end tied off. Weeks passed. The corruption investigation stalled. Key witnesses recanted. Evidence was deemed inadmissible. Federal involvement quietly evaporated. Lucas Hale's name faded from headlines, replaced by newer scandals and louder crimes. Aaron Pike was buried with full honors. The case was closed, but Ellison couldn't let it rest. 3 months later, a package arrived at her home with no return address. Inside was a flash drive and a single photograph. The photo showed Evelyn Hale sitting at a CAF overseas, smiling calmly at the camera. Alive, free. Ellison plugged in the drive. It contained everything. Bank records, confessions, videos, names. Proof that Lucas Hale had been only one piece of a much larger machine, and that Evelyn Hale now controlled it. The final file was a video message. Evelyn looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, she said softly, it means you chose the truth over your career. I respected that. Lucas didn't deserve to win. Neither did the people he served. She paused, then smiled faintly. Neither do you. The drive wiped itself clean seconds later. Ellison never released what she saw. She knew what would happen if she tried. The case remains officially solved. But among investigators, it's whispered about in quiet rooms and late nights. Not as a murder, but as a warning. Because they thought the killer was dead. They thought the mastermind was gone. But somewhere in the world, Evelyn Hale is still watching. And the system is still breathing. If this story stayed with you, you already know some crimes don't end when the case is closed. Subscribe, like, and comment. because the next story proves just how dangerous the truth can be.